Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are taking a fascinating journey into what is, honestly, one of the most profound transitions in human history. Think back to the industrial era for a second. That whole period was all about the mechanization of human muscle, right? We built these massive, heavy machines to lift, move, and build things that we literally never could have done on our own. But today, we're crossing an entirely new threshold. We're stepping right into the era of mechanized brain work. We are now dealing with what we can accurately call heavy cognitive machinery. And look, just like those old industrial machines required totally new safety systems, strict rules, and trained operators, this new cognitive machinery demands a massive paradigm shift in how we work, how we govern, and even how we think.
Okay, let's dive into this. Here is our roadmap for decoding this whole transition. We're going to start with the rise of agentic AI, meet the digital golem, shift from HITL to hot HOTL, figure out how to govern this new workforce, navigate the epistemia trap, and finally wrap up with building epistemic literacy. Let's get into it.
Section 1. The rise of agentic AI beyond simple chatbots.
So, to actually understand this paradigm shift, we have to completely reframe how we view AI. We're moving way beyond simple chatbots now into the realm of agentic AI. By definition, we're talking about systems capable of autonomously pursuing long-term goals, making decisions, and executing complex workflows, all without continuous human intervention. You see, traditional generative AI is fundamentally reactive. You ask it a question, it gives you an answer. Simple. But agentic AI, it's proactive. It can plan out multi-step strategies, adapt when conditions change, and even coordinate with other AI agents. This isn't just some software upgrade. It's a completely new class of heavy cognitive machinery operating entirely on our behalf.
As you'll see here, agentic AI is fundamentally different because it actually runs full workflows autonomously. It places a really strong emphasis on task decomposition, taking a massive goal and breaking it down into bite-sized logical steps, and then sustaining that operation over time. It can dig into your databases, fire off emails, and make judgment calls in highly complex environments. Now, this autonomy is absolutely incredible, but as we're about to see, it also completely changes the nature of the risks we're taking on. Section 2. Enter the digital golem. Power without context.
To truly wrap our heads around this behavior, it helps to look at a brilliant ancient metaphor from Jewish folklore. The golem. There's this saying that modern golems aren't made of clay, they're made of incentives, and this brilliantly illustrates our current situation. In the myths, the golem is this immensely powerful man-made entity brought to life just to do specific chores. It has raw, unyielding strength, but literally zero common sense. While our modern AI systems are exactly like this, they can generate, summarize, and predict at a scale and speed that leaves us humans in the dust. The power is undeniable.
But here is the massive catch. AI scales, and it obeys. It cannot, and absolutely does not, ask, should I? It relies completely on pattern recognition and advanced optimization, meaning it fundamentally lacks human logic, human emotion, and any sense of moral discernment. Think about it. If you tell a super-intelligent system to maximize paperclip production and it decides to dismantle humanity's infrastructure just to mine more iron, well, it's not actually being evil. It's just perfectly executing the incentive without the human context needed to weigh competing obligations. It just does the job. Period.
Section 3. From HITL to HOTL, redesigning work for an AI-led world. So what does this actually mean for your workflow? If we're practically inviting these digital golems into our businesses, how on earth do we manage them? Well, for decades, we've relied on the human-in-the-loop model, or HITL. This is human-led, AI-enabled work. The AI suggests something, but a human has to sit there and physically click approve every single time. The glaring problem here? We become the bottleneck. It puts a hard, fast ceiling on scalability. To really capture the value of agentic AI, we have to leave to a human-over-the-loop model, or HOTL. This is AI-led, human-enabled work. In this new fly-by-wire system, the old rigid role of the bureaucrat is essentially automated away into seamless bureau work. And in its place, humans get to evolve into what we can call Playcrats, highly strategic, creative governors who are steering the whole machine rather than just blindly pulling the levers.
Let's move to this and see how this builds out in reality. In an actual agentic workflow, it looks kind of like this. An AI orchestrator receives a request. Then it goes out and selects the right specialist agents to collaborate on the task. The real magic happens when the AI is highly confident. It just executes autonomously via straight-through processing. Boom, done. It only ever escalates to a human expert when its confidence drops. This continuous, self-filtering loop elevates us out of the repetitive daily grind and plants us firmly into those critical, strategic governance roles.
Section 4. Governing the AI workforce. Controlling the machine.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how it maps out the stakes. Because delegating actual real-world decisions to autonomous systems requires incredibly rigorous, totally updated oversight. The stakes cascade dramatically once you look at an agentic risk matrix. Unmonitored AI, that can lead to severely fragmented data, totally uncontrolled autonomy, and massive legal and financial liabilities. We literally have to shift our mindset from asking, is the output correct, to should the AI even take this action? You have to govern an AI agent the exact same way you would govern a rogue human employee acting on your behalf, with strict authority limits, clear escalation rules, and total accountability.
To actually pull this off, we need fundamental control mechanisms. First, we obviously must align AI values with our own and constrain them by existing laws. But honestly, more importantly, because AI is still just software running on physical chips controlled by humans, we actually possess an ultimate digital analog safety moat. We absolutely must build in human intervention options and non-negotiable shutoff switches for any existential threats. By strictly limiting an AI's access to real-world resources, things like computation power and actual budget, we maintain ultimate physical control over the machine. No matter how smart it gets, we hold the keys to the power source.
Section 5. The Epistemia Trap. The Illusion of Knowledge.
All right, so we've covered the operational risks, but we also face a really deep philosophical threat regarding truth itself. Tell me, have you ever read an AI-generated article and thought to yourself, if AI is supposedly so smart, why does this feel so wrong? Like, it sounds perfectly fluent, beautifully written even, but it just totally lacks substance. Well, this happens because the system is generating plausible but entirely ungrounded answers. It's basing its words merely on statistical co-occurrence, not on any actual lived understanding of the topic.
And this brings us to a really critical concept called epistemia. Epistemia is basically a structural condition where linguistic plausibility substitutes for epistemic evaluation. Okay, in simpler terms, it produces the feeling of knowing something without actually requiring you to do the hard labor of judgment. We are constantly being handed these prepackaged, fluent-sounding answers, and as a result, the vital human work of scrutiny, of justification, of actually debating an idea, it's all being quietly displaced.
So the crucial point is understanding the epistemological fault lines here. Large language models, they are stochastic pattern completion systems. They track text associations. They simply learn how language behaves, not how the physical world works. Human minds, on the other hand, track truth conditions. We understand intuitive physics, we form complex causal structures, and we build justified beliefs based on actual, tangible experience in the real world. A machine mimicking language is absolutely not the same thing as a mind generating truth.
Section 6. Building Epistemic Literacy. Reclaiming Human Judgment.
So how do we fix this? How do we ensure we don't just passively consume these AI-generated mashups? The answer is epistemic literacy. Both our education systems and our daily habits have to adapt, and fast. This means developing habits of verification that actually match the stakes of the decision. It means rigorously cross-checking against independent sources. And maybe most importantly, knowing exactly when to defer judgment rather than just accepting a machine's coherent, confident answer as final closure. We must remain the true ex nihilo authors of our own understanding. We have to create meaning and judgment from our own human experience instead of just outsourcing our cognition to statistical algorithms.
I want to leave you with this final, truly provocative thought to take away from this explainer today. In a world of infinite, plausible, AI-generated answers, are you still doing the labor of judgment? As we integrate these immensely powerful digital golems into our lives and transition to that fly-by-wire human-over-the-loop orchestration, always remember this: the heavy cognitive machinery can do the processing, but only you can do the understanding. Stay curious, stay vigilant, and please never stop questioning.